My daughter's name is Campbell, and the first thing I remember is seeing her for the first time. Just a perfect mixture of her dad and her mom. From eyes up, she is her dad. We got the slightly slanted eyes, and she had my hair. From the nose down, all her mom. I had nothing down here. My genes wasn't strong enough for none of the bottom. She was beautiful, man. She was beautiful. She just the perfect mixture. I just wanted her to open her eyes and look at me or cry. That's all I was asking for.
Welcome to Still a Part of Us, a podcast where moms and dads share the story of their child who was stillborn or who died in infancy. I'm Lee Red, and on this episode I chat with Jones, who tells the story of his daughter, Kampbell, who was stillborn, and his love for her. As a word of caution to our listeners, this story contains emotional triggers of stillbirth and infant loss. Please keep yourself emotionally and mentally healthy and seek help if needed. Also be aware that these birth stories may differ from his or her partners, as these accounts are told from their own perspective through the lens of trauma and heartache and the passage of time. Please respect our moms and dads who are brave and gracious to share their children with us.
And then you're always questioning later on in life what it will be like. What will you look like? Will you look majority like her later, or me? Who's got the stronger genes of what you're going to look like? It's just a whole bunch of questions that you will never get the true answer to.
Well, Jones, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And I'm going to turn the time over to you. So if this is your time.
Well, I'm going to start from the beginning to the day where we realized that something wasn't normal. I go to work. And then she's at home until about 11 or 12, and then she goes to work. But I leave at about 9:10. So I leave for work, and then she texts me telling me that something's not right because she haven't felt her baby move, which I know that something's not right as well because she always moves. She eats specific things and she will move, or if she drinks something, she will move. So she goes through the day. I'm thinking that I'm just saying that she's probably asleep or she's tired because we're 7 months in. She's growing. I understand that she may be tired. So we just continue the day. I don't want to stress her. Neither do I want to stress myself. And I'm at work and she's going to work. So hours pass. We're still talking to one another and still nothing. And I'm still trying to make sure, like, just in denial that anything is going on abnormal. So I'm trying to get her just to be like, it's fine. She's okay. Like, and by this time I'm off and I'm at home. And then she was at work and she still wasn't feeling anything and everything was still not normal. So she comes home. We tried other things like she drink like my mom's Kool-Aid, it's sweet. And I know my baby will move when she drinks something sweet. So we tried that. We tried the whole flashlight trick on the stomach to get some type of reaction. She shook her belly a bit, nothing. So we finally went to the hospital, and this is on the 5th of May. We go to the hospital and we get back into the room and stuff. I'm still calm and I'm collected and all of this because I'm not thinking nothing negative. Nothing. You would never think anything negative in these situations. So we get to the hospital, we get back into the exam room, and I remember the doctor coming in. It was a doctor the first time. It was a doctor come in and she's checking for a heartbeat. And our baby is a jokester. She every time we try to get an ultrasound on her, if she's on the left side, you can hear the heartbeat for 2 seconds and she's moving. She's not going to stay in one spot. So I'm still thinking about this when they're in there trying to check for a heartbeat. So they're checking and she don't get anything. And I keep looking at the doctor, looking at the ultrasound machine, and I keep looking at my partner. Those are the three places I keep looking every time. And she can't find it, and then she leaves out, and then man, I'm gonna cry. I'm just, I'm gonna let you know now.
It is it's an emotion that is totally all right, Jones. This is your child you're talking about. Of course you're going to get emotional.
The first doctor, she checked, and she left out. She got another doctor, and the other doctor came in, and she couldn't find a heartbeat as well. And the whole time that they telling me that they don't see a heartbeat, and I clearly can see the screen and not see anything. I can't accept it. It's hard to accept. And then I'm looking at the mother of my child who's sitting there. What I'm going through is nothing like what she's experiencing. So I'm upset. I'm telling the doctors that it ain't no way. They're doctors. They know. I'm telling them that it's no way. Check again. I'm just in complete denial about the whole situation. And then she just looked at me with the most sincere face ever and said, I, I can't find nothing. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to take in my life, period. And then to look at her after we both heard this news, after going through 7 months of this pregnancy, it's heartbreaking, man. I don't know what to say to her. I don't know what to say to the doc. I literally lost my whole train of thought and mindset at that point in time. It's traumatic, and nobody will truly understand unless you've actually been through this. And I would wish this on nobody. It's unfair. And the fact to just we found that out, and then they gave us the option to either go ahead with the birth process or we could go home and come back. And I looked at the doctor and I said, there's no way, we've already gotten this news today. There's no way that I'm going to put myself, nor am I going to put her through this after this news. We'll do this tomorrow. That was the longest car ride home imaginable. There's nothing to say. You don't want to hear nothing. You don't want to talk to nobody. We get home. She calls her parent, with her mom, her family. I call my mom. She's upstairs. I'm downstairs. We're breaking this. We just needed some space and some time. I call my mom, tell her what's going on. Can barely explain anything, nor tell her. We do that. I think my mom said she left her kitchen sink running because she flew out the door to come to us. It's she got there in a split second. She talked to me, told me I got to be strong for her, which I always knew is just hard. As a man, being the man in this situation, it is extremely tough because you got your own problems and things that you're worrying about. But what you're going through is nothing like your woman, nothing like her. Like so you got to get it together. You try to figure it out. She's the first person I call. Then I call my boss. I can barely explain to him what's going on. Just I need you to know I'm not going to be at work anytime soon, sir. So call him. Let's get that out the way. My mom talks to me for a good amount of time. Then she went upstairs and she talked to Kristen for a while. just pacing back and forth downstairs. I can't believe what's going on. I just got this news. I thought everything's supposed to. You don't expect anything like this to happen to you. You hear it about others,
Okay.
never expect it to you. So we get that news. We cry ourselves to bed just to get up at about 8 in the morning to drive to the hospital to have a stillbirth. I mean, you know what you're about to go into, but still walking in that door, each step you take. I'm sorry, man.
No, don't you worry. It is one of the cruelest things in the world.
Every step you take closer to that door to get into the exam room hurts, man. Just to know you ain't leaving with your child. It's it's tough, man, but I don't truly. I'm showing more emotion now than I truly showed then because there wasn't a time, and she didn't need to see me constantly breaking down. So I would slide off occasionally and cry, but I try not to do anything in front of her because this ain't gonna help. That's not gonna help you, nor me. So we get there, we get to the room, and they start the process and the procedures to getting her induced and just for go time. So we get there. We found out on May 5th. We get there May 6th, early morning, probably about 8, 9. We did not have her until about, I think it was 9:53, May 8th.
Oh, that's
We was just sitting in the hospital room, and this is during COVID, so it's just literally me and her. We don't have any family support. I got to wear a mask anytime I leave this room, and it's just I my bed was a pull-out couch, and then this whole time, I just keep thinking about this isn't happening. There's no way this is happening to us. We're great people. What did I do? So she goes through each day where they keep coming and inserting tablets into her to get her dilated. And they wasn't the most gentle. And I'm getting upset because I can see that she's in pain and I don't feel like they're doing their best to come on now, you know the situation that we're in. Be a little more calm and soothing. When you walk in, please don't slam the door. We're up at sporadic times throughout the day. I might have just fell asleep after being up for 15 hours straight thinking about the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I got to worry about these blinds. Like the sunlight keeps getting in my eyes because I'm up at the worst times. Just being locked in that, well, not locked in, but
yeah.
just being in that room by yourself with just me and her. We don't know what to say to each other. We're going through all this, and we're first time parents. This whole the whole thing is just new. It's it's just crazy, and thank God for my support system because if I didn't have my friends and my family, I wouldn't have been able to be as strong as I was to like support her, be her backbone. If I didn't have the support for myself, I couldn't support her. I was told to be strong, and during these times, this I never knew that this was an actual like this is a whole like a small community. You don't understand that this happened to others
Yeah.
until it happened to you. I had no idea that I was friends with people for 10 plus years and they've been through a situation like this. If it wasn't their own child, it was a sibling of their own, their brother, their sister. I'm learning so much about other people's situation. You don't just come out and talk about this. This is not just a common topic. So just having that support and finding out other people's stories within my own circle helped. It made a difference. I had friends, people in my car club sending me food, sending us food to the hospital. Mm-hmm. I had another buddy that's been my best friend for years, just in the car club, come to get my key. I have a dog. I didn't think we was going to be there for that long, so I didn't get boarding for her. I had people come get my key to come take care of her on the daily. I had a great support group. And I know that one of the things was how unfair it is for the grieving process as a man, which it truly is, because she took off 2 months for work. I took off a week. Mm-hmm. The bills are not going to stop because I just lost the most precious thing in my whole life. So this, at that point, yes, it is unfair for the man, but at the same time, going to work, since I am alone, I got time to think, and like that is still an escape. I'm working, but it's an escape. I have nobody on my back. I'm not at home. I'm moving. I'm not just sitting there in my thoughts. It helps. It helped. My support system helped. My woman is amazing. One of the strongest I've ever seen, and I love her. It's just this whole situation, man. This is something else. And the whole time you're thinking, why me, man? What did I do? What did I do? And it's just, there's no answer to it. There's no answer to it. I don't know, man.
I've had very similar thoughts and feelings and blaming myself. I don't even know what to say. It's just a terrible situation. It's a terrible thing that happens. And it's...
We didn't do an actual autopsy. We did a biopsy because I didn't want to cut her.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go through anything and I knew she didn't want to cut her. We did a biopsy, and I know that Christian didn't really want to do that, but it was giving us some type of an answer, or it would give us some type. I just want to know what happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't an umbilical cord accident or anything. I literally just wanted to know why or what, or if it was something else that we could have done to avoid this happening. Question.
Yes.
We did the biopsy, but we never got anything. They told me, I don't know exactly what it was called, but after we had a consultation, they told us, we took a blood test just to see if anything was abnormal with us. And my chromosome 14 is a duplicate, and Kampbell had that as well. And they told us before they even took our blood that if one of us had it, then it was irrelevant. It was just something that they saw. But if I had it, well, I ended up having it. I had the double gene or the duplicate gene, and I'm fine. Mm-hmm. So that ruled that out, and that was the last that we heard of it. There's no more information that we can actually get from it, I'm assuming. But my question to you is, did you guys figure out what happened to your son?
So we like you guys, we didn't opt for the full autopsy. We did blood work, we had the placenta sent, and tests and lab work were done on the placenta. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things came back saying there was a single umbilical artery where instead of two arteries going in, there was only one artery going in. And they said that is a higher possibility of stillbirth. And then Brandon was born with bilateral clavicle ribs. And again, it's a higher risk of stillbirth, but not necessarily the cause of the stillbirth. Winter is a little bit older, higher risk for stillbirth, but not the cause of stillbirth. And there was 10, 15 things that were higher risks for stillbirth, but we don't know. We ourselves don't know why Brandon passed away. And it's one of those things where, for a while, I wasn't okay with that. I wasn't okay not knowing why or how my son had died. But after time, I have just become okay with that.
That is the same way I feel.
Yeah, because he's now buried and in the ground, and there's no way to perform any more tests and figure out exactly what had happened. And now I just have to live with saying, I don't know why my son died, and that is really hard. And I'm sure it's really hard with you and Campbell. You don't know exactly why. You don't know. Could it have been something that was preventable? But then when you start playing that game, like, oh, maybe we should have done this, or we should have done that. It's a cruel game. It's a cruel game, and it is never. It's never a fun thing to do, because then you just start blaming yourselves. You start blaming, not that you're going to blame each other, but you just start blaming yourselves. Oh, I should have done this, or should have done that. Maybe if I'd done this would have changed. And it happened.
And that happens quite often.
Yeah.
What could I do to change this? Did I do something? Did she do something? Knowing we didn't do anything abnormal, but it hurts, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that I don't know, man. I feel like if I knew what the cause was, it would make things a bit more manageable.
Yeah.
If I knew, but my mind is racing because I'm still questioning as to why. What?
No.
I wish I had an answer. At this point now, I do understand that it happened, and like you said, okay. I mean, there's nothing you can actually do or say or any type of emphasis to put on it, but yeah, it happened. It's tough, man.
It is.
It's tough, and the worst part about it is, like I said, you going through it yourself, and you got all these regular day-to-day tasks that you have to go through. Mm-hmm. But you gotta make sure that your significant other is okay. You gotta be that solid person to help. She thanks me daily for being supportive and understanding, but that wasn't just an overnight process. And especially after I'm jumping around, but after birth, that changed me as a person. Mm-hmm. I feel like each month that we progressed, I gained a parenting characteristic. I felt like I was more like I was ready. Hey, don't you do that? Like I was ready to be a dad. And I'm knock on wood because I know I ain't gonna want to hear this later when I have another child, but I'm ready to be woken up out of my sleep for a cry. I want to hear them laugh. I want to hear the attitude. I want all of that right now. And just the fact that that's deprived from me is unfair, man. And she was perfect. I just think to this day what she would look like at May 8th and to where we're at now, you would be able to sit up you would be able to look at me. I would hear your cry. I would know your cry. I would almost have your poop schedule. Like it's to drop you off before I go to work. I was ready for it all. And now before the pregnancy, that was not me at all. I was just a solid. I would just sit there, chill, nothing. But now I am so open to talking and expressing my feelings. I will. I have to tell my friends to excuse me because they might not say nothing to their kid, but I'll be like, "What y'all doing? What are you doing over there? Get in here. We can't see you." I'm parenting others' kids because I feel like that's just I'm a dad. I'm a
Yeah,
dad now.
you are.
I know that it's a terrible situation, but it's not all bad. I learned so much about myself during this time, my family, my friends, and most importantly, my significant other. I've learned more about Kristen. After this, I loved her more. We've been through something that you can't explain. You and if you can, even if somebody else had it happen to them, it's not the same experience. You don't know what we came to get to this point, as well as we don't know your story. So once again, this platform is amazing. Thank y'all because I am so comfortable with talking to you, a dad that has been through not the exact, but a very similar situation.
Yeah.
It's just helpful, man. And to anybody that wants to take in any type of advice or information on it, talking to just this period, man. Listening, this podcast is a very important podcast for others who've been through this. Like once again, she I couldn't get her to do anything the after the birth, which is understandable.
Hmm.
I mean, she would stay in bed all day, get food, and go back to bed, and that's just not healthy. I understand she's grieving, but get some sunlight. Come downstairs. Come with me. Laugh or something. I need you to do something other than staying in this bed. And this podcast helped her get out of bed. This is the first place she actually, or maybe the second, because we have a close friend that's been through a dissimilar situation. But this is about this got her out of the bed because she's hearing other stories. And I know ours is we was 2 months early, but after I sat with her and I listened to a few of y'all, I am familiar with the pod. I listened to a few of them before.
Well, thank you.
After I listened to a couple of them, and you hear that people are 9 months in, 8 months in, your days off, and you lose your child, man, I can't imagine. I had 2 months to go, and I feel this way. I can't imagine knowing that you're supposed to be here 2 days later and I lose you. No, I can't. So listening to this podcast, it man, this is helpful. This is definitely helpful.
Well, thank you. I always feel, self-conscious when people are so we we hope that this helps people, and I'm glad to hear that it has helped you and it has helped Kristen. Like,
For sure.
You're not a paid sponsor, but
No, no.
but we are
You need some.
we we are so glad that you were able to find help and find, like you said, everybody's situation is very individualized. Even though
It is.
you and I have both experienced a stillbirth, my situation is very unique to me, and your situation is very unique to you. But we do have that commonality where we can say, yes, this has this is I know somewhat of what you are feeling, and it is terrible. And
I have an idea.
I can sympathize and empathize with you. But yeah, it's it is one of those things where I'm grateful to talk with you, Jones. I'm grateful that we can connect and help each other because, even though we're a country apart, we are both fathers and we both have children. And we both need to learn how to parent that child. That was one of the most eye-opening things. Is somebody said, "Well, how do you parent your child who has passed away?" And I didn't think until that question was asked of me what that even meant. And
Mm.
and you have that little stuffed animal with the ashes of your daughter. Tell us about that. Like you told me earlier that you sleep with it. You guys travel with that little stuffed animal. How did you guys happen to pick that stuffed teddy bear?
Well, we after after the birth, they let us get our time in with her, and we gave her back after. Well, we had her up for at least about an hour. I didn't want to hold her for too long because I feel like I'm going to hurt myself, and I'm hurting myself more the longer I keep her.
Mm-hmm.
So we gave her back, and then after that, they probably came in about 30 minutes later and was asking about funeral, like asking about a burial or a cremation or things of that nature. And I knew I didn't want to bury her. You forget about people you buried. I can't do it. I want to see. I want my baby. I want my baby. I want my baby. So they gave us that option as the burial or the cremation. They would do the cremation, but I found out that if the hospital did the cremation, you don't get the remains.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get her ashes. I'm not doing that. I want my baby.
Yeah.
So we had to outsource and get our own mortician to be able to even get her in that and just get her period. And we didn't pick anything. Her mom happens to be good friends with a mortician,
Mm-hmm.
and after he was told the story and we told him what happened, he went out of his way to come to the hospital to pick her up. He did the cremation. We didn't pick a urn. We didn't pick a teddy bear. He did this on his own strength. He did it just for us, which I am 100% grateful for, because that uh, cremation gets pricey, and I didn't care how much it cost. I was getting my baby.
Yeah.
I was bringing my daughter home with me. It's not. She's not gonna cry, but she's coming home with me.
Yeah.
I just wanted her in my presence at all times. And they also gave us there's we have just little bead bracelets that they gave us. If you look at it, it's nothing. It's just a little bead bracelet. It means the world to me.
Yeah.
I will not lose it. I will not break it. It's to the point now where I stretched it a bit and I don't wear it often. I used to wear it every day. And it's just a little pink bracelet that has the blocks that has Campbell's name.
Uh-oh.
It means nothing, but they made those, made Kristen and I one. They also brought us it's a memory box. It had stuff that they felt like you should have, and then it had her actual clothing, what they brought her out
Mm-hmm.
in.
Yeah.
It had that in there, and it also had. I don't think it had anything else in there,
Did it have
but they and
handprints?
I'm sorry.
Did you get some handprints and footprints?
We didn't get. We got footprints. We got footprints. we didn't get handprints, and now we got only thing we got was a fingerprint. They put a
Those.
fingerprint on some kind of charm that she could put on a necklace or a bracelet,
Oh, that's
but
beautiful.
we just kept that in the box because we're planning on making a shadow box
Mm.
with her clothes and just a bunch of just stuff from the hospital that's remembrance from her. So, and they also made us that it's a bag that's shaped like a heart, but it's filled with rice, and it has her exact weight.
Oh,
That's 3.2 pounds. It has her exact weight. That sleeps in the bed with us as well. The two is hand in hand. The bear with her urn and the rice bag that's 3.2 pounds, along with the blanket that they brought her out in. I remember this whole day and the nurses like it just happened, man. And it was 4 months ago. It's it's just something that you can't get past.
mm-mm.
You will always see it. And we also my mom got us bracelets that is like a urn on your wrist.
Oh,
You can put ashes. You can put ashes in a bracelet.
oh, that's
I just haven't done it yet, but it's a nice option to have.
yeah. And then again, you could keep her with you at all times. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I haven't done it yet. I don't know if I will, but just the option to be able to do so,
Hmm.
I love. I do.
Now, Jones, is there anything else that you would like to say in regards to your daughter Campbell?
Can I say this? I mean,
Yes,
it's
yes.
probably
Don't you worry.
um through the whole time that me and Kristen and I were texting back and forth about not knowing. This is all the way back before we even knew if she was okay or not. I'm at work, as I told you, I'm a delivery driver. So I'm delivering packages to a door and stuff. I'm talking to her on the phone and I'm texting her. And she texted me, and I don't know what it was about the text, but that locked into my head. And I deliver this package. I turn around and I step off of the porch, and I am probably a centimeter away from stepping on a bird that flew under my foot. Never happened to me before. I don't know if it has anything to do with anything, but a red bird flew under my foot to the point where I almost squished it. And I don't know if it was like some type of a sign or something, but man, I after that happened to me, I feel like that's probably the time that we actually truly lost her. I feel like that was the sign. She's coming to tell me that it's, hey, Dad, I'm gone.
Gone.
This was my, I don't know if it had any type, it could have been a coincidence. I don't know, but I most certainly vividly remember that. I remember the place I was at when this happened. I remember the house. I truly feel like that was something, a sign or something. That was her. I know. It might sound crazy. I know people might not understand or believe that type of thing. It could be superstition, it could be a coincidence. That was something to me.
Yeah.
How do you almost step on a bird that is flying? That just don't happen. That don't happen. And this is all happening in the same day as when we go to the hospital and get this news, man. It's
It's a beautiful symbol to you. It's a beautiful, the free as a bird. Your daughter's spirit is now free as a bird.
literally, yes, literally. That's the type of vibe, and that's what I got from it. She's free. She's no longer here. I will be amongst you. I will be close, but I'm gone, Dad. I got back to my truck and I cried after that. That because I that wasn't a coincidence, man. That happened for a reason. Something that happened. Unbelievable. I heard the bird scrape the ground. He was so close. He scraped the ground under my foot, and I stepped down in stride, and he got right out. I can't truly explain it unless you saw it or was there, but that happened.
Yeah. Well, Jones, thank you so
Just
much. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about your daughter, your beautiful daughter, Campbell. Thank you.
thank you, man. Thank you. Man, this is a very important platform, and I wish others knew about it. If you need this type of thing, I didn't think I needed this or how I would feel about this,
Yeah.
but it's great. This is great, man. Allowing you to tell your story as free as you want to, and others and everybody that's listening is here because they understand.
They do. We're
It's
not
not
alone.
you just telling a random individual. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, praying for you." Okay, thank you. What else?
Yeah, we it really is one of those telling our children to people who understand, who truly understand is it's a connection. It's a connection that is wonderful yet horrible and beautiful and all that all in one.
It is. It is. It's crazy how that happens to where it is all those different emotions in one.
Mhm.
But it is. It sure is, man. It's great to talk to somebody else who's actually, because I've had friends that's been through this, but it was not them actually losing their child. They lost a sibling.
Mm.
They lost a brother or a sister. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jones. And I pray that you and Kristen find solace and healing and that you will always feel Campbell in your life.
For sure, man. And same to you as your wife, to you and your wife as well.
Yeah.
And for one, I tell you what, I will never forget my child. When I have another child that is going to be my second child, don't forget your child. If that's still your child at all times.
Yep. Yep.
I would never forget mine. If somebody asks me to this day if I have any kids, I'm yes, one. She might not be here, but I'm a dad.
You need and should be proud that you are a father. You will still have the love of your daughter. You will still love your daughter. And you will still mourn for your daughter. And you will still be happy. You'll think of times, ultrasounds and stuff, and you'll just smile and you'll just be proud.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I tried for months to put my hand on her stomach to feel my baby kick. I tried to feel Campbell kick, and anytime I put my hand on her stomach, Campbell would never
Nothing.
kick. She would never kick. Soon as I move my hand, she's drop kicking. She's drop kicking the belly.
Yeah.
But soon as I put my hand up her, nothing. She is on a stealth mission. Like she's nothing. And I remember the first day, like the first time she ever kicked my hand. I just I know that I looked at Krista and she looked at me, and I don't know what my face looked like, but I lit up apparently because she said that face. I've never seen you look like that. Yes, she finally kicked my hand. I've been trying for months, and she never kicks my hand. I finally felt it just just to go a month later, man, and
Okay.
now my baby can't even move. Man, this is the worst feeling ever, man. You're not supposed to go to the hospital and leave your child.
No. No, it's
It's it's heartbreaking. It sucks, and I tell you, it's brought this whole situation made everyone in my circle much more communicative, and like everybody talks to one another, expresses your feelings. I know that my mom was upset that we were pregnant, My mom was upset that we were pregnant, and I didn't talk to her. I probably didn't talk to my mom for about a month and a half, 2 months during our pregnancy. I tell her the news, and she is at my door almost as soon as I hang up. The relationship between my mother and my partner has changed drastically after this. I mean, soon as my mom, they wasn't talking at all. But soon as my mom pulled up, I'm crying. She's holding me. I'm hugging her. And the first thing she tells me is I have to be strong for Kristen. I knew that before, but I'm struggling too.
Yeah.
It's just as a man, I don't think people really understand all of the pressure that we do have on us. Granted, women are amazing and they have a ton of pressure on themselves. We got our own milestones we got to hit and that we expect to hit as men. It's just things as a man you expect and you need to do. So I knew I needed to be strong, but it's hard. I know it's just hard, man. I'm getting through it. Definitely time. It takes time. I'm getting through it, but I still have my sporadic moments where I might wake up and I look at her picture because her picture is my home screen on my phone. I might look at her picture and I might get teary eyed, or I might listen to something and I get teary eyed. It brings me back to that delivery room. And when I watched the whole birth, which I thought that I wasn't going to be able to look at all
Mm-hmm.
because I got a weak stomach, man. I can't, I look at a paper cut and I'm about to pass
Yeah.
out. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But going back to the point where, man, it's just so emotional, man. Just this whole thing, this whole experience, man. But you just know you have to be strong for your partner, your significant other. You have to as a man because her watching you on the daily go like physically like you're going to be upset as much as she is. Probably not to that extent because we didn't carry this child to that amount of time that she did. But you're going to feel what she went through, nowhere near where she's at, but you're going to feel it and it's hurting you,
Yeah.
but you don't understand how much is killing her that this is you gotta be supportive, man. Whatever
Yeah.
you put that pride to the side, hold your woman right now, man.
People don't understand that. You know, yes, mothers have lost a child, but fathers, we lost a child too.
Yeah.
You know, we have those same emotions, those same feelings, those same dreams that we have lost. The thoughts of walking a daughter down the aisle, the thoughts of, come prom night, telling the guy, I will kill you, you know, because
If she's not home by
yeah,
11.
yeah, because I have a daughter, Lucy, and when we lost our son, I lost all the dreams of having, I play soccer and playing soccer with him and teaching him to throw a baseball and
Mm.
all those dreams died with the burial. And it's, as a father, yes, we have those feelings and we need to feel those feelings. I can't imagine people ever saying that you shouldn't feel those feelings of pain and loss and grieving. But like you said, we do need to also be there to support our significant other because they are
Right.
going through we are both going through those same feelings. And at least with Winter and I, some days Winter's a complete mess and I have to pick up the pieces and I have to be the support for her. And sometimes I'm a complete mess and Winter has to carry that torch as well. And she
We
has,
go through the exact
yeah,
same thing.
yeah,
She, I have my moments. Like she could be talking about her and be completely fine over there just talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm over here a sobby mess, man. I'm over here cleaning. Like I sat here when I was here when she was talking to Winter, and I'm over here.
Ball.
I'm balling, man, and she over here having a conversation. There's just certain things that she's talking about hits me different,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. It's you truly don't know what somebody's going through. We talk to each other on a daily basis, but still certain stuff that she say, which she's not being like she's not saying it on purpose, but it hits me a
Mm-hmm.
little differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just having a good support group is just very important.
I'd like to thank Jones for coming on and talking with us. It was wonderful to hear about his daughter Campbell, about his love for her and for his partner, Kristen. Thank you so much. Head on over to our website, stillapartofus.com. There you can find the show notes, including a full transcript of this interview and any other resources that were mentioned. There you could sign up for a short and helpful email newsletter. There you can find out how to become a patron and support the work it takes to produce this show for just a few dollars a month. And lastly, there you can find out how you can get in touch with us if you would like to share your child's story on the show. And just to let you know, we are having a little bit of a change. It's a good change. Stay tuned for that. It is big news for us in regards to the podcast. The show was produced and edited by Winter and Lee Red. Thanks to Josh Woodward for letting us use his song, She Dreams in Blue. You could find him at joshwoodward.com. Subscribe to this podcast and share it with a friend that might need it, and tell them to subscribe. Why? Because people need to know that even though our children are no longer with us, they are still a part of us. The best car safety device is a rearview mirror with a cop in it. Dudley Moore.